So when I start my mani, I always pick out the set that I want. And if I have any accents that I want to do, is where these twosies are perfect because they make great accents without having to open an entire new set. Always, always use your nail prep pad. This will help take the extra oil off of your nails, which helps make your strips actually stick better and look better too. I love my rubber cuticle pusher. It's super easy. The best thing to do is actually leave it in your shower so then when your cuticles are already wet, you can just push them down. But I had forgotten to. I had just taken off a set that I had on. So just make sure they're all nice and clean. This just helps get any extra oil off of your nails. It's natural, but the oil on your nails will make it harder for the strip to stick onto it. So you just take these prep pads, they're just alcohol pads, and it just helps clean the oil off. They do the same thing at like the salons. That's what they'll like spray and wipe off when they do it. So we're going to, they always give it like a little rip, so just rip open the set and pull out. Every set comes with 2 sets of 8 so that you can find your perfect size for your nails. When I put the sets back in, I like to just rip it in half, and then you can use the nail file that comes with it to help put it back in. So you put the nail file in, and then you can just slide that extra set and extra strips that you don't need back into the package. And then I take a hair straightener and I just reseal the edges right across so that it keeps it nice and fresh. So when you're finding the right size strip for your nail, you can just take it and you just fold it right over just a little bit to see where it's gonna sit. So this one would fit perfectly. This one would work too, but it would leave a little more of a gap than I like. But I mean, it'd be fine. But then like this one would be way too small. So that's how you can use, they give you 8 different sizes so that you can find the perfect fit for each finger. So once you pick out your style, the nails that you want on each one, so I added that little accent sample pack so that I could have a red sparkly nail too. So always start with your pinky and you're gonna work towards your thumb because your thumb is gonna be like your tool. So we're gonna start by, you always take off this little clear protective sheet. And then I like to cut my strip in half. Peel up the actual strip cover. I anchor it, so that just means I put it back on the little white piece so that I have more support on it and I'm not touching the sticky part as much. Peel off your little tab. And then if you mess up, just carefully pull it back up. Put it where you want it. You're gonna smooth all the edges and then you just pull that white piece back off. Smooth it all out. It's okay to have extra on the side. It's better to have a little overhang because then you can just take your rubber cuticle pusher or your thumb, either works. I like the cuticle pusher just because it kind of pushes and seals the side of it as well as it cuts it off. And then I actually leave this top part on there, and I kind of just fold it down. So then I get that perfect line at the top, and I don't get those accidental rips from when I use my nail. And I'm just gonna leave it like this actually until I'm all the way done with all of my nails. And then I'll let it sit for just like a minute or two, and then I take my nail file and I just file straight down on the edge, and it'll take off all of this without breaking into the pieces that are actually on my nail that I want to stay there. This helps to make it just look cleaner at the top, and it helps to not get as much of that wear and tear look at the tip right away. Another tip, never put the strip like over your skin. It'll make it so it doesn't seal onto the nail, and it's just gonna start peeling up. So it's okay to have, see if I can do just a little bit of a gap, like it's not actually touching that bottom part. And if it does, I push it underneath, because if it's on your skin, it's not gonna stick all the way, so it's just gonna start peeling up, usually within the next day. And that other piece that I cut off when I cut it in half, you just, this is the little bit harder part, but you just peel off that top piece, the actual nail strip. I anchor it. And anchoring literally is just, you just stick it back onto the backing white piece, just so that you have a little bit more grip on it. You're not touching it on your fingers, so you're not getting the oil on there. And then we're just gonna stick this one on. It's a little bit harder to do on camera. Trying to get the right angle for you guys. Get it, stick it on there. Give it a good little push down. Remove that back white piece. Smooth it out all the way. See, there's extra here. It's like you can use your nail if you want to, and just kind of push underneath, and it'll start to just break it off. And see how a little bit got on my skin? So I want to make sure this piece comes off, so I'll make sure, because if I don't, it'll just start peeling up the strip in a day or two. This is where the cuticle presser comes in handy, because you can just push it right against your nail and the cuticle, and it'll give you a clean cut right here, and you can just take it right off. And again, I leave that top piece on. I just fold it down, make sure it's nice and sealed on there, sealed all around. It never hurts to just keep pushing it down, making sure it's nice and sealed. Looks good. So do again, so just remember, always take off the clear piece before you cut it, because it's pretty much impossible to get this little clear piece off if you cut it before. Cut it in half. And another good thing about cutting it in half, see how the stars are on the bottom? So that means it would be by the nail bed. You can keep it like that, or when you cut it, that means you can also flip the design if you want to. So say you want the stars at top. You now can do that because you only have half of it to work with. So you can have the stars at top, have the stars on the side, stars going up, whatever you choose. So I wanted the stars at the top, so I laid down. So that just means there's extra on the skin part. So that just means you're going to make sure it's nice and smooth, and you're going to use your cuticle presser and just go along and push where you want it to cut around your nail, around the nail and the skin. And you'll just take it off. Take off the extra nail strip that's on the skin. And see how easy that is? But it looks awesome, and you can change it up however you want. Make each of your manicures completely different if you want, by rotating them, flipping them, whatever you want. Be as creative as you want. On my thumb, so I cut it in half, and I actually turned it sideways on this one so that I could have the stars more at an angle. And so we have a finished one. So I'm going to let these sit for just a minute before I file them off. But that is how I do a mini.